Hello and welcome everyone, and gather round the fireplace, for this is Calebovitsch, and I would like to tell you a story about a trip I took to France last week. Sorry, there was something wrong with my voice. As most of you know, last week I flew to France, to Lille, to take part in the Flesh and Blood Pro Tour. It was an awesome and amazing experience, and I would like to tell you some cool things about it, so that you can get a general idea of the whole experience. Now, the trip itself was rather uneventful, although I did have to wake up at an ungodly AM hour. Oh my goodness, it was like 3:15 a.m. I had to take an Uber to the airport. Well, you know how it usually goes. The usual queues, the usual delays. Fortunately, there were a lot of people from Poland on that flight from Warsaw, from Posen, from Łódź even. So at least the trip was not dull. We flew from Warsaw to Brussels. Then we took a bus from the Charleroi airport to straight to Lille, and we arrived there on Thursday around midday. Went to the hotel. The hotel, the Teklo Hotel, sorry, the Eklo Hotel, as the T is silent, was, how to best put it, a very budget one. Okay. As you can see on the photo, I had a small room, like 2.5 by 2.5 meters, just a bed and everything. Well, oh, sure, there was a toilet, a shower, but there was no AC. I mean, there was AC if you opened the window and the door. Uh, I think the best thing about the hotel, and the only good thing about the hotel, and everyone agreed on that, was the lobby, where we all spent our evenings talking, drinking, and playing bluff dice. As far as the city itself goes, I guess it was fine. I mean, on the one hand, you could see a lot of construction sites everywhere, but it was not all shine and rainbows. I mean, sure, on our walks through the city, we saw some landmarks, some other sites, but we were very confounded by a lot of in a lot of places you saw some sprayed sketches on the sidewalk, and we were wondering whether these were some sideboarding plans for Fab, maybe Kano damage output math from three blues in hand and an energy potion, or maybe, just maybe, a modern version of Reinhardt's sand sketched plan. Anyway, on Thursday evening, we finally went to the venue because there was a players' reception party. We all got our Pro Tour swag, playmat, sleeves, the promo card, the things that you can see here on this photo. The hall was huge in height as well, but well, it had to accommodate hundreds and hundreds of people, and of course, face masks. I mean, I almost completely forgot about them. Yes, they were mandatory for the whole event, and they were making my life a living, breathing hell. I mean, I still have sore patches behind my eyes, and it's been almost a week since I took it off. Um, on Thursday, there was not a lot of foot traffic. Not all players were there, but I was able to talk to a lot of people from Poland. I mean, all in all, there were something like 50 people from Poland attending the Pro Tour, playing in the Pro Tour, the calling, judging the events, etc., etc. But yeah, we had a good time. We ate some food. We met up with some other people from some other cities. And I would like to give a huge props to Lemur. He made premium tokens of Frostbite, Ash, and Ashwing, Ether Ashwing. He gave them to us for us to promote Poland, to give away to our opponents. An awesome project and an awesome gesture. I mean, just look at these beauties right here in the photo. So once again, thank you, my dude. On Thursday, we also had a small banquet. The food there was okay, but nothing to write home about. And there was a huge Q&A session with James White himself, the creator of Flesh and Blood. He answered a lot of questions, and man, that dude really knows how to hype the game up to 11. I mean, he got us hyped up for Dynasty, the new set that is coming in November, about the Emperor that we saw a day later on Friday that was unveiled during the Pro Tour, even about a Savage Lands expansion in down the road. So I guess he talked about it like it was I think it was his exact words, a blockbuster set. And we were all hyped, even though it was way down the line, probably in 2024 or even 25. As far as the tournament itself goes, the Pro Tour, it took part on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the tournament itself went rather smoothly. To be honest, I thought I would be more stressed out about playing in such a huge event. I mean, there were more than 350 people playing in a pro tour in one of the biggest tournaments of Flesh and Blood. It was a mixed format, some drafts, some classic constructed at day 1 and day 2, and top 8 in day 3. Drafts went on without a hitch. Huge props to LSS for making pre-sealed packs with checklists, so you wouldn't have to hide your double-faced dragon cards from your opponents. First draft went okay for me. I went into Dromai because I read the signals, and then I got paired up against 3-5. For those of you unfamiliar to Flesh and Blood, in a draft format where you play one of 3 heroes, it's a bit like a matchup roulette of rock, paper, scissors, and for me it was 3 times paper against scissors. Well, at least I managed to win one of those 3. For Constructed, I brought my own creation, the Aggro Oldham deck, I think I had it. I had constructed it well enough, and sure enough, after the 1 to start in draft, I managed to win all 4 games of Constructed on day 1 against Viserai, Briar, and the Dash, and those games went rather without a hitch. And at the end of the day, when I was thinking about my results, 5 wins, 2 losses, making it into day 2, and I think I only made mistakes in one of those matches, and I even was able to win that match. So yeah, I think it went all well. Then day 2 came, Saturday, and I was feeling a bit more exhausted. I mean, it probably didn't show in my games, but I was yawning all the time. Once again, we had a draft and some constructed, and in the draft, once again, I read the signals. I once again went into Dromai, and once again, I was paired against 3-5. You know the drill. Results were the same, 1 win, 2 losses. And on to Classic Constructed, where the matchup roulette was no longer in my favor because I was matched up against a Viserai, a Katsu, and 2 Prism, with Prism being a matchup where you win like less than 5% as the deck I was playing. Overall, I finished the Pro Tour with 8 wins and 6 losses at the exact 100th place, which is kind of a good result. I mean, when you look at it, 100 out of more than 350 people, that's not so bad with over 50% win rate. And most importantly, at least for me, I went 6 wins and 2 losses with my constructed deck, my own creation. And as a Johnny, I'm very pleased with myself, at least in that regard. On Sunday, I didn't make it to top 8, but I was able to play in a battle-hardened tournament. It was double draft. I went 3-0 in the first pod with Icelander, and then I stumbled and lost my round 4 and my round 6, so I went 4 wins, 2 losses, and you had to win the first 5 rounds, literally, to make it to the top 8. That's how tiebreakers work in this game. But overall, it was great. It was amazing. I had a blast over there. The games themselves were on the top level, so nothing. So everything I was really expecting. As far as some more highlights from the tournament and from the trip itself, the hall was huge and it was filled with hundreds and hundreds of people, card shops, artists that were signing their artwork. You could buy some props everywhere. It was overall amazing. I remember day 1 of the Pro Tour, I was standing in line to get my dragons according to my checklists. And then suddenly I heard a loud booming voice from one of the judges who was asking people to go in this line or that line. And then I looked at the guy and I saw he was not holding a microphone. I was like, oh my God, that guy has such a wonderful voice, like amazing. So I went over to him and I said, dude, you really have an amazing voice. You don't even need a microphone. And the guy said, yeah, thanks, I know. And you know what? This isn't even my full volume. I was like, what? Anyway, on draft 2 of the Pro Tour, I remember I started the draft with a very, very strong signal to the guy on my left that I took a ninja card. But then I started receiving some good illusionist cards, so I went in that direction. And after the draft finished, after the first round of the draft finished, I looked at the guy who was sitting to my left, who was receiving my first pack, And I asked, how did it go? And the guy said, not too well. And he asked me, you first picked a ninja card, right? And I said, yeah, right, it was a clear signal. And the guy said, yeah, that screwed me over. So this is something to remember if you're playing Fab. If you see a signal, you have to then read confirmations that that signal is still active, that the player has not switched. On the venue, there were a couple of places where you could buy some food. So, well, obviously, at a tournament, you're hungry, so I went to one of them and I thought, maybe let's eat something healthy. And one of those had a vegan sandwich. So I took it, I bought it, I took a bite. Wait, there's cheese in it. Okay, I took another bite. Wait, there's egg in it? Huh, that's strange. But then later I found out in the French menu, it was described as a vegetarian sandwich, not a vegan sandwich. Now, please, let me know in the comments below. Should I sue them for misrepresentation? Anyway, for me, for sure, a huge highlight during the tournament was when I was sitting to one of the Pro Tour matches, and the opponent was sitting down across me, and he asked, wait, are you Calebovitsch? And that already made my day, so thank you once again. The last highlight I would like to talk about is winning an unwinnable matchup. It was the last round of my Pro Tour. I was sitting as Oldham against a Prism. As I already told you, it was a sub 5% win rate match. And I was somehow able to win it. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at this photo. This is the last turn. So I have a photo. I have witnesses. It happened. You cannot say otherwise. Okay? Okay. All right. So overall, once again, the trip was great, amazing. And once again, I would like to thank everyone who contributed to the Pro Tour Lille Fund and made this trip a reality for me. My dear viewers, thank you. And I'm going to read this in alphabetical order. Gunner116, Lauren812, Mr. Cowbird, Ravenclaw, Risper Visper, Ristona, Semiyama, Sibling 2023, and of course, Van Drakenhoff. You are all amazing. Thank you. And, well, take care. See you around. Calebovitsch out.